All right, we are back. It is the finale, the season finale here for the Football Friday Night Podcast on demand. I'm Adrian Broaddus. He's Galindo. We are back here at the beautiful Sun City Sitrep studios for the last time for high school football, but we'll continue to be out here throughout the entire sports season, throughout the entire next year. I want to first wish everybody here at the Sun City Sitrep studios and VP Marketing, Warrior Allegiance, a very happy Thanksgiving. A happy Thanksgiving to all our listeners out there, to all the high school football coaches, to the student athletes out there that we get to cover each and every week, and to our great team at Football Friday Night and 600 ESPN El Paso, a happy Thanksgiving, happy holidays, and getting ready for the exciting times right here. No turkey football this time around. All teams wrapped up play in the area round last week, and we're here to wrap up all the season, kind of all the big storylines, kind of preview what's ahead for the offseason for some of these football teams out there, get into some good debates about different eras, the 2010s versus the 2020s. Shout out to the high school football blog that posted that one yesterday on social media. Got some good traction on that one. So we'll dive into all the storylines out here. But before we get started, I do want to mention this. If you've got a compelling story, if you're a business owner, if you are a player on a team, if you're a team themselves, a coach themselves, if you are looking to get more exposure, contact the great people here at Sun City Sitrep. They can put you in this awesome studio, hook you up with these awesome mics, create some amazing micro content that you can share on social media, just like you see from the clips that we share on social media ourselves. So contact the people, slide in their DMs, Sun City Sitrep, bpmarketing915.com, and the great team out here. We appreciated them this entire season. Jaime Barraza, Jaime Huerta for all their production for our coverage here for high school football, for supporting our team as well, and making it to where we can air high school football every single week on 600 ESPN El Paso, and then here on the Sun City Sitrep YouTube channel. So Zay, we start off this week primarily talking about recapping the area playoff round. Most teams exit, or all teams exit here in the Texas State playoffs after last week. It was El Dorado, Eastwood, and then Andrus making it all the way. And some of these teams dealt with injuries. I'm going to give a big shout out to El Dorado, though. That game, although it didn't look as close as it could have been, I mean, El Dorado was moving the ball. They had a lot of opportunities, was following Felix Chavez from the El Paso Times' coverage. It seemed like El Dorado had a really good chance against Richland, or a good Richland team, by the way. Richland was just too much and overpowered El Dorado when it was all said and done. So that one, I kind of want to lead off with and talk about first, because I was very impressed with that one. 70-37 was the score. I guess that doesn't give a good indication of maybe how close this game was at points.
Yeah, I think the El Dorado, they went down big early and they clawed their way back into it. They made Richland sweat a bit. And I mean, that's what you do when you have a guy like Ryan Estrada, Jadarius Sanders, Bryson Booth. That offense can move the ball against almost anybody, and they did that. And like you said, they just got overpowered defensively by a very good Richland team.
And on the other side, it was Eastwood falling to Byron Nelson beating them 62-29 in this game. It was no in this matchup. It was no Kingston Jeffries. They had to go with a backup quarterback in this one right here, and I thought that was a tough one for an Eastwood team to do, to have to rely so heavily on DeVries, who was pretty good. And now, Zay, I'll flip it back to you. Do you believe Bentley DeVries and now Kingston Jeffries, it's a quarterback competition going into next year, knowing what he was able to do in the bi-district round, pushing Eastwood over the top, but at the same time, you got Kingston Jeffries, who has been tremendous all season long. I heard it was a rib issue that kept him out in the postseason. I think it's going to be an exciting Eastwood team to come. They were a year too early, just like Andrus, who we're going to talk about here in just a second, but all the credit to Eastwood. I thought they had a great season and just fallen short in the area round.
Yeah, I mean, for Eastwood in the offseason, I think you have to make it just an open quarterback battle. No one should, definitively have that spot. It should go to whoever beats out one another in practice and in the offseason. And whether it's DeVries or Kingston Jeffries, I think that they're in good hands no matter what, because they're two very, very good quarterbacks that, honestly, from the short amount that we've seen both of them, I think they would start at almost any other school in El Paso.
Sure. Sure, I agree with that completely. I mean, the junior class is stacked for quarterbacks too. I mean, that's another exciting thing to look at. You have Kingston Jeffries with Eastwood. You have Bryson Booth, the Truth at El Dorado. You have the likes of Julian Williams over at Eastlake. You have Joe Fernandez over at Pebble Hills. Like, these juniors to be seniors next year are very impressive, and I'm missing some of them right here who are going to be studs going into next year. I also look at the Melissa game, who beat Andrus 62-14, and in this one, Andrus tried to give Carmelo Jones the go. He only had one carry. I mean, he's still banged up, man. And this is a banged up Andrus squad who overachieved as well, maybe a year early as well. And this Andrus team makes me really excited to look at them in the offseason, because we talked about a bit on the podcast throughout the weeks. If they move down to 4A, they could be the king of 4As, and we could talk about this team making a legit run next year.
We could, and look, if they move down to 4A, genuinely, they'll have a very, very good shot to get past the by-district round and even farther, because they don't look like a 4A football team. That team walks onto the field. They have a decent amount of numbers, not a lot of guys, but they have a decent amount, more than you'd see at a 4A squad, and they have the size, the athleticism, the talent that you really just don't get as much in the 4A level. And that's no knock to 4A football, because this year, that was a fun district, right? That was a fun district, and it'll be even funner if Andrus joins the ranks. So very excited for that team. Like you said, they're very young, maybe even overachieved this year, but they project to be really good. You get most of the skill guys back. You get your quarterback, Jamari Milton, back. Like you said, Carmelo Jones was banged up towards the end of the year, but when he's healthy, he's one of the best running backs in the city. So that Andrus team, very, very excited for them. Tough loss, but wouldn't hang your hat too much. I mean, you had a historical season, and very excited for the future of that squad.
Yeah, I was just to ride it home one more time, just really proud and impressed with the high school teams who made it to the area round. Eastwood, El Dorado, Andrus, all those three teams did so much this year in their respective districts. You talk about Eastwood, a district champion right there, who out of the 6A ranks, no one gave them trouble. They mowed through everybody in 6A, so real big credit to them. Andrus, they were able to knock off the likes of Chapin in a significant way, earned the top overall seed in 5A Division II, and really killed it all season long. A year early for this squad right here as well, as they're a younger team. And then El Dorado, I mean, the top 1-5A, and El Dorado this year put all their pieces together. This was the team where you look at Ryan Estrada, 4-star prospect, going to Minnesota next year. Absolutely killed it this year. He is leaving behind a pretty talented squad. Like, you look over with Chapin, they're going to have a drop-off without Davion Singleton. You look at Del Valle, they're going to have a drop-off without the likes of Jake Fede. Ernie Powers, he was that offense for Franklin. They're going to have to figure things out, life outside of Ernie Powers next year, and Justin Morales even paving the way for him on that offensive front. But you look at that El Dorado team and what Ryan Estrada is leaving behind. That team is going to be built for next year as well, and I'm looking forward to El Dorado going into 2026 as far as what kind of squad Frankie Martinez could roll out. That would be what, Zay? 3 straight years of a district title under their belt if they're chasing that next year?
Yep, it would. And I mean, what a turnaround. We were talking about El Dorado. They only had one win, I think, of just a few years ago, right?
Sure.
They have really been able to turn things around. And obviously that year, Ryan Estrada was hurt, but he comes back, leads them to a district championship. And then in his senior year, district champions by district champions. So once again, what are they going to do without him? Well, you have a guy in Bryson Booth who knows this offense. You're going to ask a lot of him, and hopefully he can step up for you.
We will go down your final Football Friday Night poll here in just a second. Before we get to the poll, I do want to talk a little bit more about just where these teams ended off and their head coaches. I want to give a big shout out to Julio Lopez, who earlier this year, I was thinking, man, I mean, he received a ton of criticism, not by us here on the show, but a ton of criticism in general from people just realizing, well, Eastwood at this point right now, they shouldn't be taking on the likes of a Byron Nelson. That that game, right? Or I'm sorry, a team like St. John Bosco. Well, that St. John Bosco team, who's nationally ranked, helped really grow this Eastwood team a lot earlier. And I think the maturation you saw from the midseason, non-district to district play, was because of playing juggernauts like that. And then I also look again at an Andrews squad who did not schedule cupcakes during non-district. They played some significant squads as well. El Dorado did the same. Like, these teams prepared themselves in non-district play for a playoff run and for what was to come. And I could even look at teams like Del Valle, who had a heartbreaking loss in the bi-district round. They challenged themselves in bi-district play as well. And I think this time of year, when you're playing November football, late November football, it tells you, A, your team is healthy. B, you're probably not out of Region 1, because Region 1 is insane, dude. Like, if you're coming out of El Paso and you're trying to beat the likes of the DFWs of the world or the West Texases of the world, that's where you might find a state champion. That's where you're going to find a Final Four, team when it's all said and done in the Texas State playoffs. So I want to see El Paso teams continue to schedule those tough teams out there, continue to be healthy at this point. And man, eventually it'll happen, Zay. Just keep chipping at it. Keep doing this. One day we're going to be talking about another team who's going to make a Canutillo 2014 like run, make it all the way to the state semifinals, and really show what an El Paso team can do.
I agree. I agree because, look, there's no doubt about it. The talent is there. The talent is there. It's getting, more people are finding it. The level of play, I wouldn't say is getting better, but you can see how teams are getting bigger, like in size and numbers. Football is really starting to grow more around here. And I can't wait. Like you said, keep chipping each year. Eventually somebody is going to get there. And I'm excited for that because, this town, I think this town likes football a lot. I think this town likes football a lot, whether it's UTEP, whether it's the Dallas Cowboys. A lot of people from here are Dallas Cowboy fans. And then, of course, whether it's high school football, people really like football in El Paso. So we'll see. But, I can't wait to go over these final 10 teams.
Okay, let's do it. The Football Friday Night final poll by Zay Galindo. Let's start from 10. Give me 10 through 7. Give me those right there.
So number 10 is Eastlake. It was the up and down year, the off the field and everything. They were able to kind of shut some of that noise out. Last game of the season, regular season, they go out, beat Coronado for a spot in the playoffs. That was big. You really, coming into the year, didn't think you'd be in that position, but you're able to get over that hump. You got a good quarterback in Julian Williams. Obviously got killed by Permian in the bi-district round, but Permian's having one of their best years in who knows how long. They are really, really good this year. They made it to the third round of the Texas high school playoffs. So Eastlake comes in at number 10 for me. Number 9, I'm going to go with Hanks. Got to shout out Hanks, man. They really found themselves at the end of the year. Beat Canutillo, went toe-to-toe with Chapin, and, another bi-district, a loss for them. But they're in the right trajectory as well. We're talking about junior quarterbacks. They have a great junior quarterback. They have a great junior running back, and they have a great junior receiver. That whole core of their offense is coming back. And I know we're not talking about next year, but this year they were here as well. So very, very excited for them. They come in at number 9. Number 8, I'm going to go with Ysleta. Undefeated in the regular season. Bi-district loss was tough, but that doesn't make what you did in the regular season any less because they were absolutely great. They ran through 4A. Really, the only team to give them some trouble were Austin and Riverside, but even then, right, for most of those games, Ysleta looked very, very comfortable. They have a high-powered offense, and what a great year for Ysleta it was. They come in at number 8. Number 7, I'm going back and forth on how I want to number this list, but I'm going to go with Pebble Hills at number 7. Maybe a little low, but I don't mind it. It was a disappointing end to the year. They lose to Franklin, lose to Eastwood, and then you lose in the bi-district round. You really didn't have that signature win that you were hoping for. You beat Midland, but outside of that, you weren't able to take down the top dogs in 6A, and you weren't able to get a bi-district win. So got to drop them to 7. Just a little bit disappointing out of the Spartans.
Okay, I want to just recap Hanks. I think just to talk a little bit more about what you had to say, Hanks is going to have a good season next year, and Pebble Hills should have a better season next year as well. Eastlake, you could put in that same conversation. So your 7 through 10 are kind of like the rising teams going into 2026. I'm excited about all those teams going into next year. How about Noah Tarrant with Pebble Hills was the first time seeing the freshman. This guy's made trips to LSU. He's getting recruited all over the place. He's kind of that next coming of El Paso's top prospect here in the city. And then you talk about this junior class right there is juniors galore. And my favorite quarterback out of the bunch you mentioned, Julian Williams. Like I really liked watching him when he played against Franklin, seeing him kind of dice up defenses. He has a dual threat abilities to him. And even though Joe Fernandez is kind of the seasoned vet among all those quarterbacks right there, I'd probably take Williams right now over any of those guys just because of his accuracy and his ability to kind of pinpoint passes all over the field. So I like the list right there. Let's talk about 4 through 6 coming up next, and then we'll do 1 through 3.
So number 6, I'm going with Chapin. I mean, 1-5A. They split the title, and I mean, they played, honestly, looking back at it, they played a pretty tough schedule, right? You know, you play Franklin, you play Eastwood, you play Andrus, Del Valle. Those are 4 teams that you're going to hear upcoming in this list. So they were battle tested. They were a pretty good team. They caught fire down the stretch, took down Del Valle when we thought nobody would take down Del Valle. Big upset. I mean, Davion Singleton, right? He's one of the most electric players that I've ever seen. He leaves with just an insane stat line, whether it's passing, rushing, receiving. Those are some Madden-type stats that he has in his career at Chapin. So great year for him, great year for that Chapin team who was able to find themselves towards the end of the year and get really, really hot. Had a shot in the bi-district round against Abilene Cooper, went up early at 24-7, couldn't hang on, lose by a touchdown, but nonetheless, really, really good year for that Chapin squad down there, and they get that number 6 spot for me.
Okay, I like the 6, and I like Chapin, man. Marco Chavez, I know he probably won't win Coach of the Year, but he deserves one of the thoughts of that one right there. I was looking at some of the lists. I mean, you talk about Coach of the Year, and I think it should probably start with like a Chris Taylor or Julio Lopez, like, and Frankie Martinez. Like, those guys just did a wonder. And even Rudy Contreras in year 1, Ruben Torres had some great coaches this year, man. You can't give the trophy to everybody, but Marco Chavez, for midseason, realizing he didn't have it right and flipping back to Davion Singleton, was the single best in-season change that any coach made by any team here in El Paso in high school football. So to that, Marco Chavez, his whole staff, I like his staff a lot. Julian Lopez, former minor. Josh Caldwell, former minor. A lot of good faces on that coaching staff right there. They've been together for a while. I like what they're building. I know maybe they'll take a bit of a step back next year because of just talent and Davion leaving, like we're talking about here. But for the long haul, I'm bought in. Like, I like this coaching staff a lot, and let them take their lumps next year. They'll be back in action. They'll be back winning here soon enough.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the team ahead of them is Franklin. Bit of a drop off from what I expected early in the year, but this is where we are. This is how the high school football season goes. You have your ups, you have your downs, and honestly, they didn't end the year too bad. You know, you take down a Pebble Hill squad at the SAC. You know, you go on the road. You kind of have the misfortune of having to go on the road, even though you finished second in your district. You got to go play a good Midland Legacy team, and kind of got just worn down at the end, right? And this is another game where you give yourself a shot in the second half, and you just kind of got worn down. Ernie Powers, I mean, phenomenal year. He almost had 4,000 rushing yards. Like, if he played another game, he genuinely could have had 4,000 rushing yards, and that's just a testament to how good he is, how elusive of a running back, and how we probably won't ever see a guy like that ever again. I know we said that about a lot of guys, Jake Fede, Davion Singleton, Ryan Estrada, but Ernie Powers had he had the greatest year statistically for a running back ever. You know, he breaks the single season rushing touchdown record. I think he broke the single season yards record as well. So no debate about that one. Ernie Powers had the greatest single season statistical year of any El Paso running back ever. So got to give a shout out to him. Great year, leads that Franklin team to the number 5 spot. And number 4, got to go with the team that beat them, Del Valle. I mean, early in the year, I had some questions. Who's going to step up? Who was not going to step up? This, that, and the third. I really shouldn't have had those questions because you got a guy like Jake Fede. I mean, I'm going down these lists and I'm naming some dudes. Like, I'm naming some dudes that will be leaving their squad, but they're all going to be playing at the next level. And Jake Fede, possibly the highest level for him. Arizona State. What a great match that is looking to be like. I mean, him with Kenny Dillingham's going to be an exciting time. And Jake Fede, man, another by district loss for him. Very disappointing, but he gave it all. He gave it all. That Del Valle team gave it all, but especially him. I mean, there was times in this game where I was like, Del Valle has no shot of winning this. And then Jake Fede just comes up with an insane play. I mean, he had a great career. Definitely won't see another guy like him anytime soon. That's a once-in-a-generation type prospect, and got to give a shout-out. Jake Fede, that whole Del Valle team, they really put their hearts on the line. Tough loss against Lubbock Cooper, 3-point loss, but nonetheless, great year for them. They brought home a by-district title last year, brought home a district title this year, so they end up in number 4.
Jake Fede, I watched LJ Martin this week for BYU, who was playing against Cincinnati, and he had the best game of his college career, and I was just smiling. I was just thinking, like, man, I remember where we were, like, watching him as a freshman play for Candioteo and how big that was, like, freshman playing for a team like that under, Scott Brooks, a legendary coach like that, and to play for a Candioteo squad at such a young age. Like, he was all over the field. He was playing a little running back, a little wide receiver, a little corner, and just an athlete. Just, you could see it right away as a freshman, as a 14-year-old. Now he's over at BYU and killing it in his junior season, and a legit NFL draft prospect. And somebody was asking me yesterday, like, who's a better draft prospect, him or Aaron Jones? And I would say Aaron Jones is still the better prospect out of college, but LJ played better competition, right? Like, LJ is going to go up and face some really high-level players and still has done that all season long. So, like, and they're totally different running backs. Like, Aaron is, Aaron could catch out of the backfield, could do a lot. He was very dynamic. He was very versatile. He was agile. I would say for LJ Martin, he's very strategic. He's shifty. He kind of, reads defenses in a positive way. His football IQ is really, really there for LJ Martin. So they're completely different running backs. The reason I'm bringing this up is I just can't wait for the day that we're talking about Jake Fede in the same light. Like, when we watch Arizona State games from 2-3 years from now, or maybe Kenny Dillingham catapults and he goes somewhere bigger and brings Fede with him. Like, let it happen. And I'm welcoming all the success that he's going to bring. I'm so excited about Jake Fede's college football career, and he he finishes high school. Talked about it with a lot of colleagues, talked about it with you, talked about it here on the show. He will go down as the best prospect I've ever watched in person. So excited about his future, man. He's got bright days ahead for him at Arizona State. So let's talk about 3-1.
So number 3 is Andrus. I went back and forth on where to put Andrus. They had a great year. Putting him ahead of Del Valle, some people going to disagree. Just because he had the head-to-head, Del Valle wins that one. But at the end of the day, Andrus made it to the area round of the playoffs, had an historical year. We talked about it earlier. That team, very, very good. And they went out there. They took down tough teams. They went toe-to-toe with El Dorado at the start of the year. I mean, if you play this game now, I think it's much, much closer. I mean, that game was 27-12, but in reality, it was more like it was a one-score game. El Dorado had a late garbage time touchdown. In reality, that game was very, very close, and I think it's even closer now because, I mean, Andrus, they're just really good. I feel like in some of these podcasts, maybe I doubted how good they were, especially in the by-district round. I thought, I don't think they're going to win this one. They went out there and they just, I wouldn't say manhandled Wichita Falls Memorial, but there was never a moment in that game where I was like, I don't think Andrus is going to win. Like, I was very, very comfortable from the start of the game to the end of it, even with all their injuries. They kind of just get things done. They move the ball down the field very, very well. And that Andrus team, they're going to be remembered as one of the best Andrus teams in the last decade and really throughout the whole 21st century. Like, they were very, very good. They were very they weren't even experienced, I'd say, but they just they got things done when the time was right. They got things done. Almost could have beaten Del Valle. I mean, I'm re-looking at that tape. We might have to revisit that. We might have to revisit that game. Like, Jamari Milton, he might have been into that end zone. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say. Like, he might have been into that end zone, guys. Like, let's review, red flag. No, I mean, that game's over, right? They end up losing that. But nonetheless, they go toe-to-toe with Del Valle, toe-to-toe with El Dorado, dominated Chapin. I mean, they dominated most of 1-5A Division II. So big shout-out to them. By-district champions, district champions. Great year for the Andrus Eagles. And number 2, team that beat them earlier in the season, El Dorado. I mean, Ryan Estrada, that's another guy that you probably won't see another Ryan Estrada for another year or for another decade or so because, El Paso brings in good running backs. They produce good running backs. It's a running back town. I mean, you talk about the running backs that have come through here, plenty to go through. But Ryan Estrada, man, he's a guy. He's a dude. He's going to be playing at the next level at Minnesota in the Big Ten. And, he's been here since his freshman year as well, right? I was listening to Football Friday Night a couple weeks ago. Like, I completely forgot. There's a world where Ryan Estrada is wearing these colors, yellow and black. Like, Ryan Estrada was nearly a Parkland Matador. Can we talk about how crazy that would have been? Like,
wow.
Alternate timeline, that would have been insane. But I'm glad he ended up at El Dorado because that just seems like a fit. I can't see Ryan Estrada in any other color than maroon and yellow. And coincidence, he's going to be wearing maroon and yellow at the next level. So great career for him. 2 district titles, a by-district championship at El Dorado, a perfect regular season last year, nearly perfect this year. He ends, I think, 19-3 his final 2 years as a high school football player at El Dorado. So he really just put that school back on the map, back where it should be. Great year. He's the all-time rushing leader in El Paso history. Like, I think it passed a lot of people. He has the most yards out of a city that has produced Aaron Jones, a city that has produced L.J. Martin, right? You can keep going down the list. Those are just names that are coming off the top of my head. You go down even farther, even later in that, there's so many great players. So for Ryan Estrada to be atop that list says something about him. Great career. Jadarius Sanders, Bryson Booth, that whole defense, that whole offense, they really came together, had a huge by-district win against Amarillo. They get that number 2 spot for me. And then number 1, who else could it be? Eastwood. A great year for them. We went over them already. That defense was phenomenal. The secondary was great. Jude Walker, Kingston Jeffries, Matthew Ramirez. So much talent on that team. They put it all together. Coming off a very down year last year to do what they've did this year. Testament to that culture, that team, that program as a whole. We've talked about it a lot. Probably don't need to go to that much deep into it. Everybody knows who number 1, the top dog, is in El Paso. It's the Eastwood Troopers.
And their defense, man. Their defense was outstanding all season long. The other thing I'll say about Ryan Estrada, just to wrap it up with the El Dorado Aztecs and their successful year. You mentioned it, all-time leading rusher in El Paso history. He actually goes over Deion Hankins, who had that crown for a while now. You think about Deion Hankins, that 2019 season. It's been some time since then now. So we're talking 6 years that streak has been out there. And then prior to that, Deion, he had some people who contended for that. Aaron Dumas, Joshua Fields, like those guys had real chances to go out there and break that. Even Ernie Powers, if he hadn't been injured his sophomore year, he may have had a chance to sniff that one right there too. But Ryan Estrada, he now holds the crown. Fitting. He deserves it. He's a ultra productive type of player. And man, I can't wait to see him at the next level as well. 4-star prospects. That's a big deal as well. But I love the list. I think I completely agree with that list. I think that the top 10 list was exactly right, and it just makes me sad, man. Like now I'm thinking back to all the early season hot takes we had, the mid-season hot takes we had. Some of them were right, some of them were wrong, and it's been a really fun season. I think this one reigns atop of them as far as fun season. Next year may be a little down. Okay, let's tell the listeners right now, like, don't be surprised if next year we're just talking about quarterbacks every single week and that's it. But I just think it's going to be a little bit of a step back in terms of overall talent, overall play, all that kind of stuff. And I still am excited for 2026 and what that will come. But man, this 2025 season was so much fun. The class of 2026, these seniors are incredible. This was just a really, really fun year of high school football.
Yeah, I know we're going to get into this later, but 2010s versus 2020s.
Let's do it now. Let's just do it now.
Like, come on, guys. The whole class of 2026, like, that should tell you. That should tell your answer right now. Jake Fede, Ryan Estrada, Justin Morales, Davion Singleton. Ernie Powers. There's still like 4 names that I'm missing. That's how good this class was. That's how many players will be playing like Division I football. That should tell you. That should tell you my answer at least.
Okay, it just depends. Like, what do you define as, the best era? Do you define the best era for prospects, or do you define the best era in terms of how far they go in the playoffs? Because you look at the 2014 Canutillo team reaching the state semifinals and what they were able to do. Now, you talk about the 2010s. You had the likes of Derek Elmendorf, the likes of Aaron Jones, Alvin Jones, Steven Montes. You had the likes of Dion Hankins. You had some really, really good really good talent who came out of the 2010s and who had a lot of success here in El Paso. I mean, you can go down the Eddie Lopez's of the world who went to Colorado and had success there. There's other names to talk about as well. However, 2020s, you talk about guys like LJ Martin who graduated during this era, Jeremiah Cooper, and then you fast forward here to now in 2026 and this stud of a senior class right here. We were just kind of going through some random names right here who are currently playing college football, like Jaden Wilson for the UTEP Miners. Like, he's a relevant, significant player, and he comes out of the 2020s as well. So the debate is fun, but it's like, what do you prefer? Do you prefer the prospects, which I think the clear prospects is 2020s, or do you prefer how far a team goes, which no one's gone as far as Canutillo's went in 2014.
That's right. And I mean, it's such an interesting topic to go over, right? I think if this topic was like in the off season, people would have reached like pure sicko mode going like analytics. We're not there yet. Football's still here. But if we revisit this in July when people maybe have more time on their hands, like, we could really look deep into these teams. And I'll tell you this, there is a website like out there that can like play a simulation between like 2014 Canutillo and 2025 Eastwood. Like, that is a real thing. I have to find it. I don't know how reliable it is, I'll tell you that much. But hey, if you want to go have your fun with that, you can go find that yourself. But I mean, it's interesting, right? Because like you said, the 2020s don't have a team that has gone even nearly as far as that, right? The farthest I think a team has gone was the Eastwood a couple years ago. Round of 16. So, I mean, that's still a great feat in itself, right? But if you're telling me, let's say the winner, I don't even know, 2016, whoever won 5A there is going to take on Del Valle now, I still think I don't even know who it is. And maybe I'll have to eat my words later, but I'd say I'd take Del Valle. Right? Or maybe like I don't know. It's such a hard...
Well, let me ask you this. Would you take Montes' Del Valle team over Fede's Del Valle team?
Like, I think I would.
Yeah.
Just because
Or you wouldn't, right? You'd take Fede over
Yeah,
him,
I
right?
would take Fede over it. Just because even if that Del Valle team is deeper with Montes, I still have more trust in a guy like Fede, right? I don't know, though. I don't know. It's so
Jesse
hard.
Perales versus Rudy Contreras. It's like different eras of coaches too. It's crazy, but you even talk about like 2010s. You're bringing Mark Torres back in the mix and talking Pebble Hills and stuff like that. You're talking Darren Walker's Franklin Cougars. You're talking about stuff like that. Like it's kind of interesting in the different eras, not only just the players but also the coaches and how much that has changed. Ariel Famaligi with Montwood. Like, give me Warren Reddix. Give me a little Ryan Metz out in Andrews High School and the Andrews teams that had a lot of success with Eddie Senegal and Rashad Still and stuff. So it's fun to just talk different eras, when we're talking about this stuff.
It is fun, and there really isn't a definitive answer. Everybody's going to have a different answer, right? Some people are going to say the 2010s, some people are going to say the 2020s, and maybe it's recency bias for people who say the 2020s because you kind of forget how good those teams were in the 2010s and you're kind of just stuck in the present. But yeah, I mean, it's a fun discussion. It's fun to look at. There's different ways to look at it. Like you said, are you looking at it because the best prospects? Are you looking for the best teams? Maybe you have to sum it all together. And even with that, you guys know my answer.
I love it. We'll ask you guys in the comment section. Shout out to EP Football Blog who came up with this talking point earlier this week. Comparing the eras, the 2010s or the 2020s. Which has the better football? Which is the better era? Let us know in the comment section below. We'd love to hear from you on this debate right here and what you value. Do you value the prospects? Do you value the teams that go as far? That's a good debate right there to leave you here for the offseason. And I think that's a good way for us to end off the show here on the program as well. I mean, this was a lot of fun to recap the whole edition of this one right here. Special thanks to Zay Galindo, my co-host all season long, to Jaime Barraza, to Jaime Huerta for all the help all season long, for production, for behind the scenes, and making us sound great here at the Sun City Sitrep studios. By the way, again, if you're a business, if you own a business, if you know somebody who owns a business and has a wonderful story, reach out to Sun City Sitrep. If you're an athlete out there, a coach, you got a team behind you who has a great story and wants to share that story on a platform like this, reach out to them. Sun City Sitrep, Instagram, all over social media. Check them out online, vpmarketing915.com. Drop them a note in their contact form and reach out to them. Let them know that you heard it right here on Football Friday Night and that you're interested in stepping into the studios, checking out the cameras, checking out this awesome studio, these nice mics, to maybe create a project of your own. Hey, that'll do it for us here on the season, man. It was so much fun to do it. 2025 is in the books here. We're on to 2026 for high school football. For Zay Galindo, I'm Adrian Broaddus. We're saying so long. Thanks for listening to Football Friday Night right here at the Sun City Sitrep studios.
Perfect.
Awesome, man.
What I want you to do now on this one, right?
Yeah.
Let's wrap up the season.
Okay.
What I want you to do is look at this camera right
Okay.
here and be like, hey guys, this is the end of the season. We're hoping to do more. Stay tuned. Like,
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
give a little nugget.
Okay.
Dude,
Easy.
Let's do
Easy.
Let's do 3 or 4.
Yeah.
If you want to do 2, is fine. However you guys want to do it, what I mean, but let's do it on this camera so that
Okay.
you can see the whole thing.
All right, easy. Let's do it whenever you're ready. Okay. Hey, everybody, I just want to let you know we're done here for the Football Friday Night podcast in 2025. Special thanks to all our listeners all season long. We are going to have all the latest when it comes to the offseason for all of the high school football storylines. Make sure to tune in to 600 ESPN El Paso. We'll talk about different coaching changes, prospect changes, realignment changes that might happen over the offseason. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure to tune in. Football Friday Night, 600 ESPN El Paso will be back in action for 2026 for all the latest here and more stories coming up here at the Sun City Sitrep studios. Sorry.
I'll clip it. Mr. Say, you want to say something?
Yeah. I'm Zay Galindo. This is Adrian Broaddus. We just wrapped up our final podcast for the Football Friday Night podcast, talking high school football. Had some fun discussions. Had a great year here at the Sun City Sitrep studios. VP Marketing, our great friends. Thank you for putting this on. And we're still going to have more to come. More to come. No more high school football, but more to talk about. All the storylines throughout the offseason. Stay tuned. And thanks for the listening, guys.
And then now let's do one for Thanksgiving.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay, great. Hey, it's Adrian Broaddus, Zay Galindo out here. We want to wish everybody a happy holidays out here, everybody to have a safe Thanksgiving, a wonderful Thanksgiving with your loved ones out there. We're super thankful for all our listeners out here, all the great high school football teams, the coaches, the players who have been so receptive to us all season long for Football Friday Night. So want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving on behalf of us here at VP Marketing, Sun City Sitrep, 600 ESPN El Paso. I'm Adrian, he's Zay, and we're signing off here today.
Hell yeah. You want to do one, Zay?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Whatever you want to hit.
Do you want to do one that just says like, hey, follow us for prospects and for
Okay.
all the latest
Yeah, there you go.
for like signing day? You could say something for signing day.
Okay. I'm Zay Galindo. He's Adrian Broaddus. We wrapped up our final Football Friday Night podcast. But if you don't want to miss a single thing, whether it's prospect evaluations, signing day, or any offseason storylines that we may have missed throughout this podcast, make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, wherever you find your socials. Adrian Broaddus, UTEP Zay. You can find us there. Football Friday Night. Just look up the hashtag FFN600. Texas high school football, whatever it is you need, we will have it there. Thank you, guys.
Perfect. Let's do one more, and then we'll just talk about
Cool.
projects that are going to be happening with,
Awesome.
with you guys and us.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have
Yeah.
to say the project.
No,
just
let's
say-
do it. Let's do it. Yeah, I got you. Okay. Adrian Broaddus here, Zay Galindo, my co-host here. We wrapped up the Football Friday Night podcast, but we're not done here at the Sun City Sitrep studios. There's so many more sports storylines to talk about, so much more sports that are going on. Basketball is just getting underway. Football is really heating up at the national level, and then all the off-season storylines that are all out there. Plus, we want to put more of a spotlight out there on the athletes, the coaches, the stories themselves. So make sure you tune in, subscribe to the Sun City Sitrep YouTube channel. Make sure that you check out Sun City Sitrep wherever you check out social media, and make sure to follow us, UTEP Zay, Adrian Broaddus. We'll have all the coverage for all sports coming up here the rest of this year, and then going into 2026 here at Sun City Sitrep.
Perfect. Anything else you guys want to say about the radio? Do you guys?
I'll do one more. Okay. Hey, I'm Adrian Broaddus. He's Zay Galindo. We wrapped up our final edition of our Football Friday Night on-demand podcast, and it's been awesome. We are here at the Sun City Sitrep studios, and they do an amazing job. So if you're somebody who wants to start a project, a podcast, you have a big story on your side, you want some micro content out there for social media, you've seen my face, you've seen his face, they all do it here at Sun City Sitrep. It's a great team out here that puts you behind these awesome cameras, in front of the cameras themselves, behind the mics right here, set you up in this wonderful studio, and make your project come to life. So reach out to them, Sun City Sitrep, on all social media platforms, and you can find out your project coming to life here today.